The opening verses of the Gospel of John are among the most profound and widely interpreted passages in the New Testament. John 1:10 and 14 introduce the concept of the Logos, a term often translated as Word, but with much deeper philosophical and theological implications. These verses are traditionally understood to affirm the divinity of Jesus Christ, portraying him as the incarnate Logos. However, a closer examination reveals that the Logos was present in the world long before the birth of Jesus. This pre-existing Logos interacted with humanity, but not all recognized or received it. This interpretation aligns with the notion that the Logos, or creative universal consciousness, indwells all human beings. Jesus' unique message emphasized this indwelling, a truth that had been acknowledged by mystics long before his earthly ministry. John 1:10 begins with the declaration, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." This statement establishes the Logos as eternal, divine, and intimately connected with God. The passage continues, "He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made." Here, the Logos is identified as the creative force behind all existence. This creative universal consciousness, therefore, was active in the world from the very beginning. Verse 10 states, "He was in the world, and the world was made through him, yet the world did not know him." This indicates that the Logos was present and active in the world long before Jesus' incarnation. The Logos came to its own creation, but its own creation did not recognize it. This lack of recognition was not limited to a specific group, but encompassed all of humanity. The failure to acknowledge the Logos was due to a lack of awareness of their own divine nature. In verse 14 we read, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth." This verse describes the incarnation of the Logos in the person of Jesus Christ. Jesus' unique role was to reveal the indwelling presence of the Logos within humanity. His life and teachings emphasized that the divine Logos was not an external entity, but an intrinsic part of human nature. The traditional interpretation often focuses on the Jewish context of Jesus' ministry, suggesting that his own refers to the Jewish people who did not receive him. However, a broader perspective reveals that his own encompasses all of humanity. The Logos, as the creative universal consciousness, indwells every person, regardless of ethnicity or religious background. The inability to receive the Logos was a universal human condition, not confined to any single group. Those who did recognize and receive the Logos before Jesus' incarnation were the mystics and sages throughout history. These individuals had a heightened awareness of the divine presence within themselves and the world. They understood that the Logos, or divine consciousness, was the source of all creation and life. Their teachings often reflected this deep spiritual insight, pointing to the same truths that Jesus would later proclaim. Jesus' message was revolutionary in its affirmation of the divine nature of humanity. He taught that the Logos indwells all people, not as a distant deity, but as an intimate presence within each person. This understanding transforms the way we view ourselves and others. Recognizing that we are both divine and material beings bridges the gap between the spiritual and the physical, integrating our existence into a harmonious whole. The failure to receive the Logos, as mentioned in John 1:10, stemmed from humanity's ignorance of their divine nature. This ignorance led to a disconnection from the source of life and a fragmented understanding of existence. Jesus came to restore this knowledge, to awaken humanity to their true identity as bearers of the divine Logos. His life, death, and resurrection were demonstrations of the transformative power of this realization. The implications of this interpretation are profound. If the Logos indwells all humanity, then each person carries within them the spark of the divine. This understanding calls for a radical re-evaluation of our relationships with ourselves, others, and the world. It fosters a sense of unity and interconnectedness, emphasizing that all life is sacred and worthy of reverence. Moreover, this perspective invites us to explore the teachings of mystics and sages throughout history who have recognized the presence of the Logos. Their insights can enrich our understanding and deepen our spiritual practice. By acknowledging the continuity of the Logos' presence in the world, we honor the diverse expressions of divine wisdom that have emerged across cultures and epochs. In conclusion, John 1:10 and 14 offer a profound vision of the Logos as the creative universal consciousness that indwells all humanity. This Logos was present in the world long before Jesus' birth, but its presence was not recognized by many due to a lack of awareness of their own divine nature. Jesus' unique message was to reveal this indwelling presence, affirming that all people are both divine and material beings. This understanding calls us to embrace our true identity and recognize the sacredness of all life. By doing so, we fulfill the deeper message of the Gospel of John and participate in the transformative power of the Logos. If you found this interesting or it resonates with you, subscribe, comment, and share.